8-9-57 to Essendon 3-5-23. 20 years ago, Peter McKenna, Collingwood led by 44 points. They lost that one, but they're in a great position here.
They are in a great position, Bruce. Terrific quarter of football by the Magpies, but Essendon, I think, Ross, are very, very top-heavy, and I don't know what Kevin Sheedy's going to do.
He's not got a lot of options with Anderson off the ground now, and you see Kevin Sheedy in there be really trying to get something out of his players, but they've not got a lot of options left at all, Bruce.
Well, what can he do? Madden off the ground, and also Anderson with an injury, and they're the stats, and it shows that Collingwood 114 to Essendon 93.
Well, I thought Collingwood wanted the ball a lot more than Essendon. A lot of the Essendon players in that quarter going for the ball one-handed. Collingwood are attacking it with two. Look at the handballs, 62 to 34, and they're all decisive handballs, Ross.
They're far more creative, and their midfield play has been very, very good.
So the feeling's all good for Collingwood at the moment at half-time, leading by 34 points. Back after the break with a half-time entertainment from the MCG.
Ladies and gentlemen, we pay tribute to the history of Australian rules football in this inaugural year of the AFL.
He's every inch a hero, the kind to get things done, but underneath that grip of steel, there hides some mother's favorite son. They say he's a local hero, and he's known by everyone. They say what he does takes courage. He says he's just having fun. All the world needs heroes, one for all and all for one. We stand with pride beside Australia's favorite sons.
He's tough and he's a fighter.
He's tough, he's a fighter.
Got him on the run.
Yeah, he's got him on the run. He's this country's pride and joy. When it's all been said and done.
Oh, the world needs
The
heroes.
world needs heroes.
One for all and all
One for all and all for one.
we stand with pride
We stand
beside.
with pride beside Australia's favorite sons.
They got the spirit and the passion.
They got the spirit and the passion.
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
Got the heart to do their
They
part.
got the heart to do their part. Australia's favorite sons.
He's tough and he's a fighter.
He's tough, he's a fighter.
Got him on the run.
And he's got 'em on the run.
And you stand with pride
We stand with
beside.
pride beside Australia's favorite sons.
The year is 1915. Australia is at war, yet a great sporting tradition is unfolding. Two of the VFL's most successful teams, Carlton and Collingwood, prepare to battle for the ultimate prize, the premiership flag. And here they are, the 1915 VFL Grand Finalists, Carlton and Collingwood.
It's a bound for glory. Oh, we're bound for glory. A heartfelt victory in the warrior's destiny. Bound for glory. Oh, we're bound for glory.
The history of Australian football is built around the passion of its public and the deeds of its champions. Those great players from all eras who fired the imaginations of their generation. Some of the all-time heroes are with us today. From the 80s, holder of the most games ever played record, Hawthorn's Michael Tuck. Twice the Brownlow medalist, North Melbourne's Keith Gregg. The modern spirit of the Melbourne Football Club, Robbie Flower. With North Melbourne 444 goals and a Brownlow medal, Malcolm Blight. From the 70s, 403 games with Richmond, winner of the 1980 Norm Smith medal, Kevin Bartlett. 4 times the league's leading goal kicker, equal scorer of the most goals in a season, Hawthorn's Peter Hudson. With Geelong and North Melbourne, the leading league goal kicker, Doug Wade. Carlton's captain, coach, and then coach again, Alex Jeselenko. The greatest ever Richmond centre-half forward and leading goal kicker twice, Royce Hart. From the 60s, 330 games with Fitzroy and a Brownlow medalist at the age of 31, Kevin Murray. Triple Brownlow medalist, South Melbourne's Bob Skilton. A captain of Melbourne, a coach of premiership sides, Ron Barassi. From the 50s, 19 years a player and 321 games, Footscray's Mr. Football, Ted Whitten. Regarded by many as Collingwood's greatest ever player, Bob Rose. Captain of North Melbourne and then president of the VFL, Alan Aylett. A St Kilda Brownlow medalist, Neil Roberts. From the 40s, the great Mark, who was Melbourne's best and fairest 3 times, Jack Mueller. The kiss of death, the irrepressible Collingwood legend, Lou Richards. From the 30s, the Supermark, 150 goals in the season of 1934, Bob Pratt. The most decorated player in history, the league's best and fairest 3 times, Dick Reynolds. From the 20s, captain of Collingwood, a Brownlow medalist, and one of its most famous sons, Harry Collier. 151 games with Footscray and a Brownlow medalist and twice runner-up, Footscray's Alan Hopkins. So there they are. What a group. The champions of all ages. With only moments remaining in the 1915 VFL Grand Final, the score is Carlton 11-12-78 to Collingwood 6-9-45. A 5-goal burst late in the final quarter has ensured victory for the Blues. The premiers for 1915, Carlton, Australia's favourite sons. Ladies and gentlemen, no nation of the world was ever blessed with finer sons than the Anzacs. In the 75th anniversary year of their courage and sacrifice at Gallipoli and elsewhere, let's give an Anzac welcome to our returned Gallipoli veterans. Pilgrimage, and all in their 90s are Bill Cooper, Robert Barclay, Roy Kyle, Jim Lees, Walter Parker, Bob Ponsford, Tom Marr, Roy Longmore, Frank Fankhauser, Stan Quinn, Jim Kibble, and Ted Thompson. As the official war historian C.E.W. Bean wrote at the time, the deeds of the Anzacs will rise above the mist of ages and be a possession of their nation forever. Ladies and gentlemen, as a tribute to the Anzacs and all they represent, please stand for our national anthem.
Australians all, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. Advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. Advance Australia fair. Australians all, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia
Today's Anzac tribute was proudly presented by Carlton and United Breweries and the Australian Football League. The anthem was sung
So the
by
halftime
Julie
entertainment.
Anthony.
Paying tribute to Australia, our diggers and our great footballers. Back with the second half of the grand final after this break. At half-time, Don Scott with his chalkboard takes a look how they set themselves up on the forward line in 1990 compared to the old days.
Yes, Bruce. Well, those dots do represent traditional positions on the ground. We go down to this particular line. That's the full forward line. Full forward, the two forward pockets. Then you've got the half forward line, half flank, centre half forward. The centre line just being circled, including the rucks and rovers. Then you've got the backs down the other end, the half-back line, and also the full-back line. Now we cross all that out. Now that's a traditional view, but now the game is played between these particular lines, the 50-metre lines. There's a big congregation of nearly 30-odd players in those particular lines. You've got the full forward, the full back, and on some instances, those two particular blokes in this particular game today weren't even in that 50-metre square circle as far as Essendon were concerned. So it's important the ball be won around midfield, and that is very, very difficult with the congestion that is existing in the modern game of football. But that is where the game is won. If you can gain the ascendancy, it takes courage, and to get the break in some instances requires a bit of luck.
Right, let's go down to the boundary line. Here's Michael Roberts with Bernie Quinlan.
Well, thank you, Sandy. We couldn't get into the Collingwood rooms, but the feeling is at fever pitch. Lee Matthews made an example of Gavin Brown having been felled just before quarter time. He waited with him,
at the players' race, and when Terry Danaher walked over, he said that he will be back. Don't be surprised if Gavin Brown comes back onto the ground.
Yeah, they're not all that happy with Terry Danaher because Lee Matthew was very aggro. He had Gavin Brown next to him as he got stuck right into Terry Danaher. I couldn't get into the Essendon rooms either, but I did notice that Graham Allen, the Collingwood football manager, has his hand bandaged after half-time, so I don't know what happened to him. I'm a little bit surprised by Gubby doing these sort of things too, but a lot of aggro as the teams went up the race there, Sandy, and maybe it's a little bit of a worry having those races so close together when the players are at fever pitch in these big matches.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. Ernie Quinlan and Michael Roberts on the boundary line. Players from both sides were in position and ready to go before the umpires were out on the ground.
And interestingly, Gavin Brown on the bench does look reasonably okay, Sandy.